Hi everyone, welcome to another festive food video. We are now on our very last row, which is quite sad because I've been having such a lot of fun with these, but still 5 more videos to go. Now this one is quite an interesting looking cake. Or pudding, excuse me, I don't really know what I'm doing with it. I'm just going to get started and see how things pan out. So these little bits at the bottom, I'm going to colour those as leaves and then move from there. So I'm going to use my permanent green olive to make these into leaves. Now they're really small, so I am just going to get some colour down in those spaces. I'm not going to worry about any shading. If you want the leaves to look shiny, you put a little bit of white on them. I was thinking, used to get little green leaves in pots covered in sugar that you could use for decorating cakes. I don't know if you can still get such a thing. Were they made of tapioca, or am I imagining things? No, that's not. Is that the right word? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I shan't stop colouring and ponder any longer. I really don't know what I'm on about. So, anyway, we'll just pretend they're decorative candied leaves. No, or edible candied leaves maybe. And I'm thinking there's some more leaves here and these shapes. I'm going to do these shapes in the same green here. Those things underneath them look like marshmallows though. Anyway, it'll be okay. And then these ones. And again, it's just plain colouring, nothing too difficult. Just fine work, so you need a sharp pencil and good eyesight. Okay, now we have these little stick things sticking out with circles on top. I'm thinking I'm going to do the circles, those and those all in the same colour, but the little sticks, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to use my metallic silver pencil. Whoop. You can't see the name, it's just impossible. You can see, whoops, it's the silver, and I'm going to colour the stick in this silver colour. I'm going to put on quite a thick layer because it becomes more shiny. You know, if you need to make sure you've got enough down so it can catch the light. It probably won't catch the light here, but I can see it. So you have to believe me. And I'm going to do these as well. I don't know why. Why would this be silver? Anyway, it's silver now. You might see it catch the light if I just tip it a bit. There you go. Quite shiny, isn't it? I find silver pencils, if you're thinking about using metallics, silvers are usually quite good. Other colours can be absolutely rubbish. Right, let's grab a dark red and do all our circles. Again, these are far too small to do anything with, so just block that colour in, nice and vibrant. You know, I'm layering it up a bit just so that I can see it. And here I'm going to try to make the outsides darker than the centres, but they are so small. But I'm just going to have a go and see what happens. I can see a little bit of white in the middle there. It isn't easy, but I do my best. This looks like a Swiss roll with silver foil. And these ones, again, these are teeny. I'm probably just going to block most of these in. I'd like to make them lighter in the middle, but you could spend hours and hours with a really sharp point trying to go for all those details, but I'm not going to. Now, what's the rest of this? Well, I'm thinking cake, chocolate cake. That's my thought. That's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to use my brown ochre for the cake. So just a lightish layer all the way across the bottom for a layer of this sort of plain cake. And you could always ice your cakes, but there seems to be a trend these days for having bits uniced, or having like just a crumb, what's it called? Crumb icing or something. where you just put a really light layer of buttercream over the cake, which you would normally then stick some fondant on top of, but people just leave it without. And it's far less rich than having all that icing. And this bit too. And this could be like blancmange or custard. Delicious. I don't think it would hold, it might not hold. It'd have to be quite a solid custard, wouldn't it, to hold that shape. I do, when I used to make custard, I used to always put loads more custard powder in than you were supposed to make it go really thick. You'd have to, my dad would say you'd have to cut it with a knife. Yes. But and when it went cold, it would set so hard. It was so filling and delicious. But anyway, my mother thought it would revolt her. She hates cold, thick custard. She likes hers quite runny. Anyway, it looks a bit like a burger bun lid now. We're going to put the burnt umber chocolate bit on here. I think I'm going to make it darker here and here, and a little bit lighter towards the centre, to try and give it a sort of more, even more spherical look than it has already. And you can see how Johanna's drawn those lines on for us to help us, to sort of show us that we need to do that. Can't do that with the silver because you can't. Some metallic pencils you can layer up a bit and get different tones, but I found that I've got the Castle Arts ones, which I really like, but to change the colour of them, you know, to make them darker, you have to actually add a bit of black. And there's a black metallic one in the set, so I use that. Or if I'm doing orange, I might use a brown or whatever, you know. But you do have to, you can't just layer up the pencil and make it darker like you can with, like I'm doing with this one. That I've got more layers on that outside and it looks darker. I need to do something with the top of that cake. It really does just look like the top of a burger. Maybe if I hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have thought it. What should I do? I know. Let's put some sprinkles on it. Let's do that. Should put some white sprinkle, but a plain cake wouldn't have sprinkles. Gonna have to. I'm gonna use this Posca because it's a bit thicker. It'll show up more. And we've got these dots. I'm just gonna dot on it. I'll probably end up looking like sesame seeds and look even more like a burger bun. Like it's icing. It's got icing on it. There we go. I don't know if that helped. I'm going to use my little tiny 05 nib to do the white markings on these ones here, because they're very small, and on these. But I might use my slightly bigger one, the 08. Whoops, for the these larger ones here. Oh, that was a bit of a clumsy splodge. But never mind. No one's looking. There we go. Right, we need to do the little platter at the bottom before we finish. And I'm thinking I'd quite like it to be red. Just to sort of, because we've got all these layers of red and green, I just think it'll work. And I'm actually going to use the same red, the dark red, I think. And we'll try and make it look like it's a porcelain platter with a shine in the middle. So just lighten it as you go towards the centre. And then a harder one here. And a bit of shine, but no white. And then it looks more like a shiny porcelain than a sort of metallic. It doesn't really matter which way it looks, you know, as long as it's got that bit of shine. I think it looks not special. But there we go. There's our cake, or whatever it is, but our festive cake. I think I'll call it a chocolate berry cake. Yeah, let's call it that. Anyway, hope you have a really lovely day. Have lots of fun and happy colouring.